we're going to start installing the apps. We're just going to go through it very, very quickly. I'd like to welcome you to the Android workshop. We're going to try to go through it through this holiday so that we can equip you guys to be able to develop apps in the next 7 days. So it's going to be a very, very fast and efficient workshop. So the first thing that we're going to do today, I'm going to share my screen first, is wait, and first of all, if you can hear me, write 1 in the chat so that I can know if my mic is audible. And also feel free to switch on your mic and ask a question if you have any. We are about 3 of us, so we'll be able to help you with anything that you might have a problem with. Okay, so I had sent this group notice before, and on it there are links of things that you're supposed to have so that you don't have any problems during the development. So the first thing is the Java runtime environment, and this is the link to download it. So you just go to the website on the link, and for most all these links it's as simple as downloading and installing. So if you haven't installed them yet, you can try to do it as quick as possible together with me as I install them. And so you download from the first link. You can try to download all, how many links is 1 2 3 4. You already have this, so about four of the links. And let's see if I have this already. So after you download this one, you should also download the JDK. The link is also there in the group notice. You can just start downloading all of them so that when we're installing it doesn't take that long. This one, you come here and get the Windows installer. So I think the current stable version is JDK 13, so you can get that. Accept here, download. And sign in. I have to sign in before it. Let me see if I can download it without signing in. Anyways, it's fine. If you need to sign in, you can just make an account real quick and so it doesn't need you to sign in. Whoa, okay, Okay, so I think there's no workaround. You just have to make an account, and when you make an account, you download the JDK. So there are several editors that people use to do Java, but we chose Intellij because it's very very Java friendly, and it would be good if we all have the same ID, so that if you have problems, it would be easier to help you out, and it looks a little bit more like Android Studio as well, so it would be an easy transition. So the link to get Intellij is also right here. You can download that as well. So this one, no need to sign in, you can just click and download. Oh no, sorry. So here you shouldn't get the automate version, you should get the community version, so that you don't have issues about activation and purchasing and trials. So you get the community version, it has all that we need. So that one also will download. So from here, this is the Java runtime environment that I clicked download earlier. Don't mind this, it's just a downloader. It would be the same. It would be downloaded to your Chrome if you use your browser. So when you open it in your downloads, all you have to do is double click and install it. So you're gonna go through a normal step. You just click next, and install. I won't install this because I already installed mine, so I might just start some problems. But it's as simple as you click install when you finish the installation, and that'll be fine. And when you get the JDK, it'll be the same thing. When you download it, you just follow the installation wizard, and you just click next until it installs. The Intellij is the same thing. As soon as you download it, you just follow the setup, and you choose a destination where to install it, and it's very very simple. Just click next, and you install. So that's how you get the 4 things that we need. The other thing we needed is Android Studio. Let me see if that finished downloading. Okay, wait, let's check that again. I think we didn't go to this link. So this is where you get the Android Studio. So you click accept here, and it also starts downloading. So this one is also very very easy. All of them, as soon as you download, you just follow the setup and select where to install and click next until it is installed. So if you have the Java runtime environment and the JDK, the Java Android Studio is gonna work perfectly. The IDE is not very necessary for the Android Studio, but it will be good for some Java practicing and also some introductions that we might do in the beginning. So if you have these 3, you are very well set to go for the part where we start developing the Android apps. So if anybody has a problem right now, it would be a good time so that you can ask, and then we can help you individually and see if you have any problems installing the 4 apps that we have right here. If you have installed all of them, maybe you can You can write one in the group in the chat so that we can know how many people have done, so that we can start very quickly. And if you have a problem installing it, since this is 10 meeting, you can actually share your screen so that maybe we can help you out if there's any specific problem.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm only calling to download the JDK.
Wow, what is the problem?
The email.
Oh, the email. I think the last time I came here to download it, it didn't ask me for this, so I'm also wondering about this. You can just make a quick sign in account, because it seems like it's required. Let me see if I have a copy of it somewhere. Mm, Maybe if it's a problem, it could just be good to share a downloaded version already. This is JD. Oh, this is long time ago. No, I don't have a latest version. Try making an account. Have you tried making the account?
Yeah, I'm doing this right now.
It's fine. It's okay. Let me see this. Does anybody have a copy of the JDK? Maybe you can share it in WeChat so that everybody doesn't have to go through this account making process. I won't be too large to share on WeChat. Mm, I'm actually not sure of
Job,
this. Yeah.
job title. I
Hmm?
don't have a problem.
What?
Job title.
Job.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't have a problem. I got no
man,
problem.
just write anything as long as you get the,
Okay.
yeah. You can write student there or CEO or something.
Yeah.
I don't know the size, so I'm not sure if it'll work on WeChat. But if you can get it, if anybody has gotten it yet, you can share and see how much size it is and see if it's possible to share on WeChat, please. Let me see how fast it is. I don't really know if I have an account or not, so I'm not sure if this work. Oh, I do have an account. Okay, it's 150 MB. Mm, how to share this? Anyways, I think X. Okay. Uh, try try using this link and see if it starts downloading straight. I can can
Yeah, it is.
no. I've sent a link right now.
Yeah,
Is it downloading?
yeah.
Okay,
That's okay.
no problem. So all those who don't have the JDK, use the link I've sent. It will start downloading straight. Anybody else having a problem? Mm, okay, I'll just go through the installation as well, because maybe other people would like to follow. So I'll, if it breaks, it's okay. Let me install the softwares one by one as well. So buying time. Intellij. Okay, so I'll start with the JDK. Yeah, XD. Okay, done, 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 done. Okay. Okay, so okay, so installing this is as simple as you click install and then it starts installing. Okay, so that's the Java runtime environment, very simple install. And the JDK, it's also the same. You just double click it. Another installation in progress. Okay, this one is finished. So you after downloading it, you just double click it. The link is not working for me. What is it? Can you tell me what is it bringing? What is the error that it is bringing when you use the link? So that maybe you might know the problem. Okay, so for the JDK, also you double click and open it, and it's not opening the page. Okay. Okay, try copying it and then go to the browser and just paste it. It's supposed to okay, let's see. I already downloaded the zip file and it's not bringing any installation options. Can you share your screen, please? Okay, so for the JDK, you also just do next, and it installs. And that one is done. For the Android Studio, you also open. If you have everything, maybe type 2 so that we can be able to count how many people have installed. Because it would be good if we have enough time, we can do some Java recap, so that maybe some people did Java but they don't remember much. So it'd be good if we have time to do some Java recap, so that um, the Android development would be much easier. Because with the time is very limited. If we don't have enough time, we won't have uh, a good chance to do enough recap. Okay, this one takes long. Write 2 in the chat, please, if you have everything. Okay, so okay. Okay, that's 1, 5. Guys, we only have 5 people with everything. If you have a problem, please communicate so that we can solve it quickly. So, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. If you have any problems installing, there are two other guys and a lot more smart people here who can help you out. Maybe we just have to, while waiting for the people who do a Java recap, so that this is not, it won't be like we're starting the workshop. We'll just do Java recap for those who have a few things to buy time for those who are still installing, because we're running out of time. So if you have any problem right now installing, you can write a message in the chat, in WeChat or the meeting app, and as soon as you finish, please write 2 in the chat as well. So we just do a really quick Java recap, because then we're running out of time, so that we can start the actual Android development workshop. So if you have the Intellij installed, this would be really good IDE for you to do the Java, because it really reduces a lot of headaches that you have trying to configure another IDE to run Java programs properly. So if you have it, you can install it. If you're still installing the apps, it's fine. You can still be seeing this as while you're installing, and it's just a reminder of some Java that I'm assuming a lot of people have done. So we just do enough so that you can actually be able to catch up. Even if you feel like your Java is not good enough, it's fine. As the more you practice here, the more you'll be able to get familiar with it. And if you have done any other languages, I think all you have to do is be able to relate to the Java, and you won't have a lot of problems. So if you open let me close this project. Okay, anyways, when you come to this IDE, I think for most of you it's gonna be blank, like with nothing here. You're gonna go to project, new project, and you just click here, next, and you can give it a name. Maybe you can say Java for Android. The name does not matter here, it's just a project name, and you save that. So when you come here to your project panel, you can extend this and go to sources. You may come here and make a new Java class. So we can call this, let's say, main file, right? So in Java, this is an object-oriented language. We have objects and classes. So the first file that you're gonna have, it's very good that it's the name of the file should be the same name of the class, right? And this is how you declare a class. So you say public class main file, which is the name of the file. And every Java project should have a main function, right? So this is how you write your main function. And public static void main string args. In this IDE, it's very easy to it has very good intelligence and suggestion. So you can just write main and then press enter, and it'll write your first main function like that. So you have your public class, and then here you have the name of the file that you made, and then you add your main file. So in Java you have classes and objects. So in this main function, maybe the first thing we can go through is variables. So if you have done other languages, declaring variables in here, it's pretty much almost the same. You have data types, and that is you have strings. I'll give a few examples of the many data types. You can go through this more. You have strings, you have integers, you have booleans, and you have floats for floats. You have characters. So for strings, this is like a group of characters. So this could be like a word. For example, if you wanted to have the name Paul uh, as a variable, you'd have to use the string data type. Okay, so maybe here let's say data types, right? So this is just a recap, and we're just gonna go through this very quickly. Integers, you have all the numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, whatever numbers you have. And in booleans, you have false and true, right? False and true. If you want a data type that has one of the two, false or true, you use a boolean. If you have floats, yeah, floats and doubles are meant for numbers with decimal points. So let's say you want to have 2.10 or 11.6 or 112. So all these are floats and doubles. Characters, if you want single, you can say ASCII key values. Okay, let's say Q, or you have maybe a symbol, and all those would be characters. So those would be actually represented with the single quote, and the strings will always be in double quotes. So a string, to declare a string, you just say string, and then you name the name of the string. So you say, we say name is equal to, and then you say 4. And after every line, you have that semicolon to say you have finished the line. I think that's the default in many languages. And integers, it's as simple as int. You say number is equal to 11. Yeah, boolean, boolean, let's say is real. You can say true. True. Finish that. A float or a double, you say double, and let's say money is equal to 10.5, 10.2. Characters, which are character is equal to key. So in other classes, you can if you would like to clarify them more, you can actually declare if they're public or they're private, right? So that would mean that if you have it, if it's private, then you can only be able to access it in that function unless you make maybe a getter or a setter, which you we'll do an example of that very quickly. And so when you have these data types, maybe a very simple thing that we need to do right now is printing something. So printing something in Java is, it's as simple as you say system dot out dot print line, and then there you say maybe hello world. And those who have done C, you know, this is terminating character works here as well. Probably done something wrong here with my, okay. So in this ID, if you want to build something, you come here first to build, U-BYTE project, and then it'll tell you if there's any error, and there have one error, no semicolon, save, build, and then you can run it. So there you go, hello world. So that's printing a statement, and those are the data types. And now let's do some this is data types and variables, right? So we can start maybe with a while loop. So in here, if those who have done C will know it's very similar to the way it's done in C. So you can say, let's say you have an integer called maybe an integer called x, and you give that x is equal to 1. So you can have a while loop that says stay in this loop while x is equal or x, let's say, is less than 5, and then open and close curly brackets, and you write whatever you want to be done in this time here while it's in this while loop, and you will do this until x is not less than 5. So let's say you wanted to keep printing this forever until x is greater than 5, then you put it here, and then you can build. In this IDE, a very simple way to build and run, you just press shift F10, and then it will build for you or tell you if there's an error. So now this is a while loop. It will keep doing this until the value of x is greater than 5. And so I think that is a good example of a while loop in Java. So if you want it to stop, maybe you can say x, you make x greater than 5, so you can give it maybe 15. So you know that when you run this again, it's not going to continue forever because x is actually greater than 5. So let's say stop this, or maybe let's say x less than this, x is less than 100, and every time here it's x plus plus, so that x keeps increasing, and when it reaches after 100, it's gonna go out of this loop. So we'll do shift F10. So it's gonna print it 100 times and then stop. So now that's a while loop. A for loop is also similar as in C. So you have, let's say, you can say int I, you give it a variable, and you declare that variable that int I is equal to 0, but then I is less than 50, okay, and I is incremental. So this for loop is saying, first of all, I is going to be equal to 0, but then I is also going to be less than 50, but I is increasing. So I is going to start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 50. So it will run whatever in this code. It will run whatever is in this code for about 50 times, about 51 times, I guess, including 0, until it has reached at the end. And this is 50. It's going to run it 50 times. So you can have anything as well in here. So you can say, this would be a good example again, or maybe in here we can make it print the value of I. So you can just say I here, and then you save, and then shift F10, and it's gonna run that, and it's also gonna print I for about 49 times, 50 times including the 0. So that's a while loop, and that's a for loop. And also this is commenting in Java, or you can do comment. If you want to do multiple line comment, it's forward slash asterisk, and then after you're done, back forward slash asterisk forward slash. So you can have several things here, and all of them will be comments. So that's how I do comment, and I think these are duplicates. So for loop, while loop, booleans, I mean data types and variables. And another recap we can do maybe is an array. So arrays, you can say it's maybe a matrix of values, and you have to declare them with the same data types that we talked about here. So if you're familiar with programming, I think you have seen arrays maybe in other languages, and if it's a recap for you in Java here, declaring arrays is as simple as you say data type and open and close box bracket, give the name of the array. Let's say you want this array name to be int array. Okay, the name does not matter, it's just an example. You're gonna say is equal to new int, then here you put the index. Okay, so let's say you want this array to have 10 integers inside. You're gonna put here 10. Okay, and after you've declared it, you can actually go and press any integer in those 10 spaces that you have created. So you'd say you want in the first space, in the index 0, to have the number 1. That'll be fine. You say int, you say int array. That array that we made, index 0 is equal to index 0 is equal to 1, and then you can do this as many times as you want in the other indexes. So let's say here put in index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5. So you have different numbers there. So you can use this to store your numbers, to store let's say your integers in this array, and this is the way we do that. So you can call for this array. We can use again a for loop, practice again, to print the values in that array by passing through the index from 0 to 10, right? So make another for loop that says int I is equal to 0, I is less than 50, and I is incremental, I plus plus. And then we come here and say print out that int array, and the index I should be the place that you'll be printing. So the first time it will come, I will be 0, it will print 3. The second time it will come, I will be 1, it will print 45. Third time it will come, I will be 2, it will print 67. Like that. So we can save this again, shift F10, and then it will do that. So here it has printed the hello words, and then printed the numbers, and then here I think maybe we can say array so here it came and printed the array, and our for loop goes over 50, which is greater than the index. So here it's telling us that we have exceeded that index. We only gave the array 10 spaces, and we're requesting to print more than 10 things. So maybe here we'll put 10, but that is just showing how that the array we declared worked perfectly. We made an array of integers, and it only has 10 spaces, 10 indexes, and we printed those out. So it's almost 10. Let me just do one advanced thing before we start that might be very, very important in Java, which is class inheritance. So let's make a new project very quickly. Make a new project, and call this inheritance. So you make a new file again, a new Java class, and you call this, let's say, inheritance as well. Just okay, you can call it. We're gonna do this with we're gonna do class inheritance with maybe a good scenario would be a house. So maybe call this my house. Okay, call it my house, and you have your class here. This part, the class name, the first class name is the name of the file. You make your main function, and you have your, let's say, system line. Okay, so this is my house. Now the example I'm going to take here is furniture in a house. Okay, so in Java you have classes, and each class has objects, has properties and methods. So here we're going to make a new class. Okay, make a new class to demonstrate this. We go to new Java class, and then we'll call this furniture. Furniture. Okay, so this would be a good example of what a class can do in Java. As a recap, so a furniture as a class has properties and methods. So properties um, are things that the objects in this class are going to have. Okay, so let's say in your furniture there are things that are very common, right? So let's say the maybe the furniture you have has a name, right? So it's gonna be string name. First of yeah, string name, and so here, since it's a separate class, it'll be a good example where we use those things like private string class. Because if you have several classes, sometimes you don't want other classes to be able to access the the content in that class unless you have given them permission through a method. So the methods are practically functions that are made in a class. So a good example here, okay, we have one property here. We'll do one method right now. Let's say you have public, maybe public string get name. So this would be the method that is called for to get the name of the furniture that you have made. But before that, also in Java we have constructors. So this is the first method that is made, that is going to run when this class, when an object has been made in this class. So how to make that is you make a method that is the same name as the class name. That sounds complicated. Maybe you can just see how it goes. So you say public public maybe public void, and then you have furniture. Nice. And in here you can this is, you can use this to, let's say, have specific things to happen when an object has been made in this class, or any other thing that you want to be done, let's say as initialization of initialization processes that you want to be done when you have made an object in this class. So in here, let's say you have this furniture, right? and you have this constructor. So this is a constructor, right? It's a constructor. I don't even know if I'm writing that right. Okay, you have you can have, let's say you say this dot name is gonna be equal to unknown. So in this situation, it would be like you're saying, if you come here and say, I'm making a new object, right? So I'm gonna say furniture, right? That class. I named the object, let's say it's a bed. I'm gonna say new furniture. If I do this, the first thing that is gonna run in here is this constructor, okay? And this constructor says that if the function furniture in this class has been run, it is gonna give it, without any parameters inside, it's gonna give it a name unknown, because you have not given it you're not given the object you have made a name, if that makes sense. And in here you can have other methods that, let's say, get that name if you did give it a name. Okay, so you say this region is return this dot name. Okay, so let's do a quick example of it so that maybe you can see it practically. So I'm gonna maybe build it. And what else? Okay, so you have a class called furniture. You have a constructor in there that is called furniture that gives an object that you have made the name of unknown, because you have not given it a name. And you have this function in here called public string get name that returns the name of the object if you have requested for it. So in here we've made a new object in that class, right? So you say furniture, the name of the, maybe I'm this name is the name of the object, but this name is like a property that I've given it, so it can be anything. Let's say in here you can have private furniture has also color, right? So you can say string and you have color. So all these could be several properties. So don't confuse this name with the name that we have used here. So this is the name of the object that is meant for Java itself, and this is a name that we are just giving it as a property. Okay, so you have made an object called bed, and it's in the class furniture. Okay, and the first thing that will run here, it will be given a random name called unknown, so that, because you have not assigned what name it should be given. So if you have made this object, you can actually request its name by saying, let's say, string system out print line, and then here you say get you say the object name, let's say bed dot get name. So you're calling get name. Okay, so you're requesting for the name of this object, right, from this method here that we created here that just returns this, right, this class's name. Okay, so if you run this, it would tell you that null this dot name. Let's see if that works. I'm probably doing something wrong here. Have it. Anyways, and also if you're finished installing everything, you can write 2 in the chat so that maybe we can start the introduction to Android workshop very soon. I think we're taking up in a lot of time. Okay, wait. Let's say here. Give it. Start is equal to 1 now. Wait, let's see how many people. Yo guys, if you have finished writing if you're finished installing everything, please write 2 in the chat. Delete public void from the constructor. Okay. Really? Chat. Public void. Get one. And let's say view. Void. Did the space put it? Oh. Type. Okay. This is supposed to be covered with F, right? Let's see. Furniture. And we have bed. Okay, let's see.
Constructor name is same as class name, I think.
What? English.
Remove that public void and remove it now. It's okay.
I should remove?
Constructor name is yeah. Remove that one.
Really? Doesn't look right, sir. Like
Yeah,
this?
that's right. Because
Okay.
constructor name is same as class name.
Okay, let's see.
Now it will give you unknown.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so
So,
thank you very much. So you're using the method getName to get the name of the object that we've created in here, which is bed, and we gave it unknown as the name of the object by default in the constructor. So I'm just gonna go through this very quickly. If you wanna make another class and you want that class to inherit the objects or the properties and methods of furniture, you do class inheritance, right? So you make another class. Let's say furniture, you have bedroom furniture and you have living room furniture. So you make a new class and let's say you call it bedroom furniture, bedroom furniture, and you have another one called sitting room furniture. Anyways, guys, if you have if you have finished, please write 2 so that we can start with the Android workshop, because I don't know if any of you have finished or not. Sitting room furniture. So if you have made 2 extra classes that you want to inherit from furniture, let's say you have furniture and you have in your house, you have bedroom furniture and you have sitting room furniture, right? You can inherit the properties and functions and the methods from this furniture by here writing extends and then you say furniture, which is that function that you want to inherit from. Extends furniture. Let me see the which group if anybody. If you've finished, please write 2 in the chat. And if you're still writing this, you can see that. Okay, so let's say you have another constructor here that says furniture. It takes in a string, and which is the name, and the string that is the color. And you just say this dot name is equal to that name, and this dot color, this dot color is equal to that color. And you want maybe more clarification that, let's say in the sitting room furniture, in the bedroom furniture, there are some other properties that you have. Let's say maybe you have a private boolean that keeps maybe let's say is wheeled. Just make things easy. When you say is wheeled, you say yes, and let's say you have maybe a different property for the sitting room furniture, and you have that as, let's say, maybe you have durability. Make this a double. Maybe you say this is 10 years, 10.5 years. That's how durable it is. So class inheritance is basically saying, if you have a class and you want it to get some properties, but you have some different properties or methods that you want to apply to maybe some of those objects, right? Then you specify those things in those in the separate classes, but then you inherit all the other properties from the super class. Okay, so in here we can have maybe a constructor, okay, that practically gets these, but maybe adds a few things up, like the durability and anything else that we might want. So maybe here you say string view. So if you make another object here that says, let's say this is now bedroom furniture, and then you give it a name. Let's say this is a bed number 1, and it has a color of blue. And maybe it's like sorry, I think I made a mistake somewhere here. It has a color of blue, and it's name bed 1 color is viewed, yes. And it's 10 years durable. Okay, bedroom furniture is wood. Okay, is wood, yes. If you make this, and then it's gonna inherit all the properties that we made here, including the is wood, so you can actually get all of those if you make the method to get them. Anyways, I think I'm taking too much time. I'll pass it to Tadia so that he can start the Android app development workshop. And if you have any other Java problems, you can share in the chat, or else ask in the group chats so that we can help you out. But also maybe you can practice a little bit more as you go. So I'll pass it to Tadia so that you can start the Android introduction workshop. I hope everybody has installed everything by now. Mr. Tadius.
Oh, yo.
Yeah. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, go.
All right. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
What about the screen?
Visible.
Okay, so moving on. I'm Tadio, so we can now start our first session of Android app development. I think some of you guys may got a quick review on Java, especially students who are very new for Java, so that will make you able to start on the same line with everyone, right? So before that, let's introduce our plan for this workshop. What we plan for this workshop is to have a lecture and practice on basic Android app development explicitly. Then we will also have a daily challenge according to our day's lecture and practice. And in the next day, we will have a quick recap on that challenge before we start a new topic. Then at the end, what the task expected from you guys is to coming up with a single app that contains all the components that we'll discuss in our workshop. Actually, we will post a requirement for certification in this workshop later on, so you guys can check it on that. If you have any question, you can also ask on the discussion box so that Mr. Paul and Mr. Simon will try to answer it there. You can hear my voice, right?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So let's start with our first today's session. Today we will see some introduction on Android app development and also some background flow of Android OS, and also we'll give an overview on basic app development workflow with Android Studio, which is an integrated development IDE for Android app development using Java. Of course, there are also other IDE that used for Android app development. Since here we use Java, Android Studio will be our IDE. And also we will create our first Android app, and we will run that in our virtual emulator. So starting from tomorrow, we will prepare a daily challenge based on our session that specific days of meeting. And since today is an introduction part, we will not have a challenge for today. Okay, so in today's session, we just go a quick review on different production ecosystem and platform structure, what the Android OS internally have, the Android versions, also the challenge that we face in Android app development. Also, we'll keep the workflow on Android Studio to make sure that everyone is familiar with the different components that we use in our Android Studio, and we'll run that up in our virtual emulator. So as you all guys, you may guess, also Android is an operating system, right? It's a stack-based operating system, which is based on Linux kernel. I think you guys may know what Linux kernel, right? It's an interface that used to interact the app or the software part with our hardware. And Android also come up with user interface for any question? I'm hearing someone's voice. Okay, so it also come up with an user interface for touch screens. It's used over also about 80% on all smartphone. Not only Android is not only for smartphone, actually it can have for power device such as watch, TV, and different vehicles. It's over 2 million Android apps are now in the Google Play Store. It's Google Play Store that's highly Android OS since it's open source. It's based on Linux kernel. The user interaction part, the Android come up with different touch gestures like swap, tap, pinch, zoom in, zoom out. Different these user interaction will be coming up with the Android, and also virtual keyboard for characters, numbers, emoji, and different support for like Bluetooth, USB controllers, peripheral devices like input-output devices. These all are the user interface that come up with Android. And also sensor part, like whenever you try to develop an app, let's say a game app, so that you may need to rotate your device to the left, to the right, or those things will be censored by this Android, come up with different kind of sensors so that you can use different API for those to develop your app, like map app, so that you can adjust a person's position and different things. So these all are sensors are coming up with Android so that you can go through those API to use and to implement your app if you're applying for those kinds of apps. And the Android app, the main thing here is the home screen, right? It come up with the home screen so that every app's launcher icon will be placed on that. And also you can have multiple pages so that you can create folder to organize your app and different things. The main component that in our Android development is software development kit, what we call SDK, right? You guys may face a problem that I saw in the group in the installation of SDK. This is the major component that we use in our Android development. So this one come up with different components that we will use in our Android Studio, the development tools like debugger, monitor, and editor, different libraries for map, wearable devices, and so on, and virtual devices. Like we may not need to have a physical device to test your app, so that you can use different virtual device based on different screen size and different. And also you can go through the documentation also, and the documentation into the developer space, so you can easily get sample code from there and to see how you can implement different components of Android app. This one is Android Studio. You can see here the Android Studio interface. It comes with an area to develop your app, to run, to debug, also to test, and you can also include different packages of apps. And also you can monitor your app at the runtime, and different performance tools are also coming up with the Android Studio. And also here you can get the virtual device to test your app, also to view different project views like hierarchy. And visual layout editor is also available, so that you cannot, you may not need to run your app to see what the layout looks like. So you can have a visual layout editor for that. Let's see, before we get deep into the Android app development, let's see what the Android platform architecture looks like inside. Okay, so here we have about 5 things. Android is a stack-based operating system. It's built in layer by layer, right? From the very bottom here, we have a Linux kernel, which is which will help us to communicate between our hardware and the software part. And next to that, we will have a HAF, which is called hardware abstraction layer, and native C or C++ libraries layer, Android runtime, and Java API framework. This one we will use to develop our app. And at the very top, we have a system app and user app. Let's see this structure or this layer one by one. The very first or top part is a system and user app. System app is any app that come up with the Android, right? The app that made by the vendor, so they come up with those devices like SMS app to send a message, and phone call app. This kind of app, you can call them as a user app at the system app. User app is any app that we install from any internet resource, so that you can the app that we are now going to develop also called user app. So the next layer is Java API framework. Actually, this one is the API that we are now using to develop our app. So that this API come up with Android SDK. So it's written in Java language, so that we can easily access different view class hierarchies to create user interaction screens. Also, if you are planning to develop an app that related to notification, so you can access notification manager API, and also different activity manager for different screen, and also lifecycle navigation. So these are the part that we are using for this workshop. Also, there are Android runtime. This one to explain, that you can consider this one as a, when you try to run your app, when you try to start your app from the home screen, this is the place where your app going to store. It means the app where it go when you at the running time. So it will create a process to this app, and also it's create its own instance of Android runtime. So you can just take it as this will be the place where your app will go when you're at the running time. This is the layer where you use for such kind of purpose. C and C++ libraries. This one is actually called a native library. We use this one to access a native Android system components and service. There may have an API that it may be hard to develop using Java, like OpenGL, what we call a graphics library, or maybe SSL, secured socket layer. So those stuffs may be hard to write using Java. So we use these C or C++ libraries like Native Development Kit and NDK. So you can access that to develop such kind of apps. So you can easily access to the native Android system components and service using these libraries. The hardware abstraction layer, or HAL, is the interface that we use to connect with the hardware. For example, you may like to develop an app that related to camera or Bluetooth module. So you use a predefined method that is found in this hardware abstraction layer so that you can easily access those hardwares. So that's the way how to develop such related app. Once you are done with this, there is a bottom one, which you call Linux kernel. So this, the place where to manage different trade or memory management, different resource management will be held by this Linux kernel, and also security features, and also the driver related things may be accessed by this, managed by this Linux kernel. I think you may face like your app may be stuck, and it will show you like application is not responding. Something, this kind of dialogue will be popped up by this Linux kernel. So you do have a right to kill that app. Actually, you may confirm that one. If you try to OK on that app not responding dialog, it will kill your app and different stuff. So this is this one have a full right for such kind of system. Here we have different version of Android, starting from, I think these names are followed by alphabetic order. We start from H, I, J, K, and L. These all names are also a desert name, right? And different Android versions are targeted for different API. Here we may only focus on API level. So different Android version targeted for different specific API level only, so that you can only specify your app for what kind of Android version you are targeting for. You may develop an app for maybe Android version of 5. So your app may not be, if you use API level of 21 to 22, your app only run on this Android 5 to 11, 5.11 version, because your API level is, actually you can configure the one in your Android Studio. We'll get into that in a moment. You can specify different application program interface, what you are targeting for. You can specify the minimum amount of SDK so that your app can be run through different Android versions. This one is the older version, so we will not use this one. I think this one the new versions, starting from M to P. Actually, there are a Q, I think now is Android version of 10, and the API level about 29 or 30 maybe. And so you can specify for what kind of Android version you are targeting for, so that you can specify that in your configuration, so that your app will be run on that specific Android versions. Let's get into the app development. Okay, so what's an Android app? Android app is can be an app that contain one or more interactive screens. It's also be written using Java programming language and XML. It uses Android. We already talked about this. It uses an Android development kit SDK, and also it uses different Android libraries and Android application framework. It's also executed by Android runtime, what you called before, like the runtime place, so that our app will be placed to here at the runtime. Okay, let's see what are the challenges that we face in our Android app development. So the first challenge that we may face in our Android app development is multiple screen sizes and resolution. So how to make our app responsive in those all sizes, screen sizes, and resolution. This is one challenge that we will face in our Android app development. Also, performance issue, how our app will be responsive and smooth in all on all Android versions, and also the security case. How to keep our source code safe and user data also. So this all stuff needs to be encrypted. So this we may need to another algorithm to keep our data safe, and also compatibility issue, right? To run well our app in different Android versions, especially in older version of Android. So compatibility issue is also one of the challenge for this Android app development. Okay, so what are the basic building blocks in Android development? There are about 4 basic components, which are the first one is resources, which mean layouts, different image strings or colors, that these all are put in the XML, and also the media files, audio, video, and different stuff. So we will use those as a resource file. This one of the building block, and also the next one is components, which mean different activities, services, and also different helper classes. These all are written by Java language. Also, these are one of the things we will focus on this workshop. Manifest file. This file is actually, you can call it as a configuration file. This file where the place where we put the information about our app that we use in the runtime. So when we try to install our app, the app may ask you like, this app will use internet, this app will use Bluetooth or some other stuff. So those stuff will be stored in this manifest file. So it will put the configuration for the installation and other things. So we will get into that when we open our Android app in the action part. The next one is the build configuration part. This one we will configure our APK version. So what APK, we may have an Android app that we already have before, but we want to modify that app. So we will set that one, the configuration part in this build configuration. That's a Gradle config file. Also, we may build an app that targeting for like, we may have app, but that app may be run in different devices like in car, also maybe in TV or in Android. So you may configure those things in this build configuration file. You can hear my voice, right? Oh no, I'm just continuing. Hello? Okay, thank you. So here, the second one is, here we say the components, right? The building, one of the app building blocks are the components. So here, what are the components by itself? Components can have multiple tasks that we are using to write in Java. The first one is activity. For now, we can say that activity is a single screen that contains a user interface that helps us, the user, to interact with that screen. So that for now, we can just take an activity definition like this, but we will get into that in our upcoming session. One of the component types also services. This one may not have any screen, but they perform a long running task in the background. Let's say we develop an app like music player app. So we may open that app and play music. Then we can close that app and the music will be playing at the background. So this kind of services is called as a long-running task. So we can develop it in just to run in the background. So this is also one of the component type. The next one is a content provider that uses to manage different shared set of data. It's actually not possible to share data from one app to another app, right? So you may have two apps in your phone, but you can't transfer one data from another. So this, unless we use a content provider, I don't think we will get into this in this workshop, but this is also one of the component type. Also, broadcast receiver. This one is like, you can take it social media app like Facebook, Telegram, or Messenger, or those kind of app. You use this kind of broadcast receiver so that you can receive different notification, right? System-wide announcement may be responded by using these broadcast receivers. These are the 4 types of components that we are using in our Android app. Okay, let's see our first Android app development. We are going to use Android Studio. Let's see what Android Studio is come up with. It's an integrated development IDE that we use in our workshop. It contains also different project and activity templates so that you can select the one of these and you can continue your work. So also there is a documentation on it, so you can see and you can go with one of these templates. And also come up with a layout editor and different testing tools. Also Gradle-based build, so that you write your app and it build it to you and it give an APK for you so that you can share that app to your friends. Also, you can publish on Play Store or something stuff. And also it come up with the emulator so that you can test your app in that virtual devices. You may not need your physical device to run the app. Also, it's possible to run on a physical device too. Okay, this is the interface, the Android Studio interface looks like. Here you can see at the first one, the toolbar. So you can have a different icon for specified for different actions. And also there is a navigation bar that shows different project hierarchy. Also the project pane is here so that you can select one of it and get started with. And the editor part here so that you can edit your code. Also the layout part you can and tabs for different like at the bottom you can yo
Nasha, ini tak kalau betul? Ini kan undi. Udah pula.
oh what's going on? Okay, so here you can find the very bottom one, the fifth part is the console log so that you can get your app information status about your app at the runtime. Also you can get the error part. Also those stuff will be held at the bottom here for the console log. The installation overview. So most of you guys are done with this installation, so that we can skip this part. So let's see how creating our first app looks like. Here you may click on the Android Studio icon so that you can go to start the new Android Studio project. And if you are already inside the Android Studio or inside the project pane, so you can just go to File and click on the new project here. Once you click on that, you may here so that you can name application, you can name anything for your application. Also, you can configure it later on. But here it's better if you name your application. Also, you can specify your project where to place your project. Here also, there are an option that if you want to include some C++ or Kotlin support, if you want, you can check that box. But I think this one is for the older version. I think you may not got this kind of option to select now new version of Android Studio. Now Android Studio version is about 4.1 or something. So you may not get this option. This one is for the older version, I think. Okay, once you name your app and you select your project location, here is the place. This one is to pick the activity template. So Android Studio come up with different templates so that you can just select one of these templates. There are a lot of, like, for if you are planning to develop an app related to map or something, and also if you want to have a setting related things or a different navigation related things, so you can select one of these templates to get started with your Android app development. But we better to continue with the MPT activities throughout our workshop, I think. Once you select your template app, you can name your activity name. Since an Android app should come up with the Android app. You call Android app because you have to come up with the screen, right? The screen, there should be on a screen with user interaction that to help us to interact. But so you have to name our first Android activity name. So what the name we want to have. So this is the place where to name our Android activity name. So that also we come up with the layout. Layout is the user interaction. So the Android, the code, but the activity by itself cannot be user interaction. So user interaction part will be implemented using this layout. So you name the default one is if you name the activity name by main activity, the layout name will be like in the reverse order activity underscore main or small letter. Also, don't forget to check this backward compatibility issue so that your app will run on different Android, especially in lower version of your Android app, so that your app will be run on lower version of Android. So don't forget to check this one. It's called app compat. So we will get into that in the coding part. So once you are done with naming this layout and activity name, you can go with finish. Okay. once you are done with this, this is the interface you get. This one, this interface contains different project panes, but we will focus on about 4 of them. The major part, at the very top here, we can find the manifest file, so that you can configure different description related to your app, so that will be checked by the Android runtime. Different permission issues if your app using internet or something. Also, how many screens do you have? You can mention that on this Android, this file. Also, like which activity, because you may have different screen, right? So which screen you are targeting to be as a launcher whenever you click on the launcher icon. So which activity you are planning to become on the first. So this whole stuff will be configured on this file. The next one is the Java folder. So inside this Java folder, we may have about 3 directories. You will only use one of them. The 2 are for testing purpose, so that you can test your app before deploying to maybe to Play Store or before sharing to your friends. So this is the way you can go through that. We will not get into this in our workshop, but they are used for testing purpose. So you can use different testing methods like unit testing or others to implement that one on your app. And the next one is the resource folder. So this resource folder come up with also different another folders that we use. Drawable, like you may have different images that we use in our app, and also layouts, the user interaction part. So we implement that one with XML. Also that one we put it on the layout folder. And the next one is the menu. Also this one is an XML, so we implement that one in this directory. The map. The next one is the map folder. So what makes different this map folder is to put the same image name file with different size. So the map and draw both contain the image, but map is the same image with different size, so that the Android app will pick one of these image based on your screen size. So I may have a phone with very small size, someone may have a phone with large size. So the Android app by the system by default will pick which image that will fit for that screen. So if you want to set such kind of image, if you want to put it on this same image with different size. Oh, I'm facing internet problem here. Jesus. Okay. Let's fix this thing. Sorry, I got a problem with my internet, sorry. So now can you see the screen? Okay. Okay, I don't know from where my screen will start, but I'll continue with the resource folder. So in this resource folder, we may have another 5 folders, with the first one drawable, and next one layout, menu, map, and values. So the first one drawable to put our image related thing that we're gonna use in our Android app development, and the layout part that to put the user interface that we are editing on, so that to make our user to interact with and to interact with the app. A menu folder also to have different menu options that we're going to develop in our upcoming session. And map folder is to put the app, to put the image that we're going to use in our app, but that image with different resolution. Like we may have one image with different image size, so that we will put those things in here, so that the app will select. Okay. So the app will select one of the image based on the screen size. And the values folder here, we put about 4 or 5 files like color related thing, string, or style. So those stuff will be implemented in this values folder. We will get into that in a practice. Okay, in the Gradle build system, we have, this one is the place where to define our Gradle. We have about 3 levels of Gradle we have to configure. The first one is project level Gradle, the next one module level Gradle, and setting related Gradle. So the project level Gradle is, we will only have one for a specific one project. This one just to configure our Gradle itself, what version of Gradle we are using. So this is the place where to configure that one. The module is, this one depends on how many modules we are using. So maybe I'm developing an app for mobile phone, also for TV, or for different devices, so that we can have multiple modules here. So we define that one on the module Gradle configuration part. The setting part is to set what module we are going to use in our compilation time. So we may have multiple modules, so which module we are targeting to be compiled in our Gradle time. So that one we will set it on the setting part. So we will get, actually it's not necessary to know this low-level Gradle details. Just it's enough to know how to configure the APK, our Android app version, and also the targeting for what kind of Android app we are targeting for, what we call SDK, minimum SDK target for what kind of version, or maximum. Also, you can set that one on this. So the rest are just not necessary to know, but we will get into that on our practice part. Okay, once you are done with this, you can test your app by using the virtual devices you created. If you can just tap on the run icon, so it will pop up what virtual devices are available you already created. If you are, but if you're not, so you can create a new virtual devices. Here is the place where to create a new virtual devices. So once you select this one, it will pop up different available phone with different screen size. This one depends on the SDK you are installed. So these all things will come up with the SDK. So you can select one of it, and it's also specify what storage size takes on your disk. And also they are targeting Android version. So you can pick based on what screen size and what targeted Android version you are looking for. So once you are done with the selection part, so you can run your app on virtual devices, and it will pop up your screen and your app you are developed. Also, it's possible to run the app on your physical devices. So those are the steps are: you go to your phone setting and you click on your Android about phone. Then on the about phone, you may find developer option there. If you found the developer option, so you can turn on the USB debugging, and you can connect your phone with your computer with cable. Then you will get an option here. So the connected devices will be up here. Your device name will be up here. So you can select your device name here, and you can run your app on your device. So if you don't find the developer option on your setting, the thing that you have to do is you tap the build number for about 7 times, so that you will get the developer option on that, and you can turn on your USB debugging mode, and you can run your app on your real physical device. I think also may need I think you may get problem with, you may not get your device on here, maybe if you get some driver issue, so you have to install driver. This link you provide the PPT, so that if you don't find your device in your option of the connected device, you can download the driver for your PC, so that you can get your device in. Okay, so let's switch my screen to the Android Studio to see what it looks like. Okay, let's start my Android Studio. Okay, here we select to start a new project, so that this Android Studio is very new. So come up with many templates so that you can get started with. Like if you are planning to develop map related activity or login activity, if you want, also different, like if you want to have a navigation drawer and setting related things, so you can select one of these available templates. So for now, we go with the default one, MPT activity. So once we get into that, we can select the name for our application. Let's continue with the default one. My application is okay. And you can also say, select your directory to store where your project. And here you can name your package name also. If you want another package name, you can set it on here. And here we select the language. For us, we can continue with the default Java one. So we will not get into the Kotlin. So we go with the Java one. This is the place where you, for what minimum SDK you are targeting for. Actually, you can say this one after you create your project, but here also you can specify that. So here it will show you that for how many % of active devices are available now in the world with this API level. Here, the default one comes with the API level of 16, which is targeting for Android version of 4.1. So starting from your app will run starting from 4.1. It will not run below this Android version. This Android version or this API level will be about 99% of the device are running this. So your app will be run about this in all device, about this percent. Also, you can select different API level with specified Android version. So these are the name key available. So you can also get the core name here and the Android version and the API level. So we'll continue with the default one too. Once we are done with configuring this stuff, so we are continuing with the finish. Okay, so here we will load our project. Let's wait. I think the Android Studio may need high storage of RAM to have a smooth running time, because it comes with a lot of packages, so templates and different stuff. So it takes a lot of storage, and need how to have a good RAM storage in your device. So okay, now we are ready to go. Here it come up with the main activity that we already select at the very beginning of our application. Here, main activity. So it appear with this one. So it extends this one is what we call inheritance. So it extends this app combat activity. What it means is by this one is to our app can be run on different Android versions, because we may use different features that's not available for the lower version of Android, like material design and different things. So to get that things, our app will be compatible with different lower version of Android app. So you use this extend command here, and you use this app combat. You can just use activity here too, but if you use activity, you can report that one, and you may get an error for your app on lower version of Android. So you have to put app compat here. If you put app compat here, so your app will be compatible with lower version of Android app. And here you can see, we'll get into this code later, but here you can see the folder structure. at the very top here, we have manifest, right? So this is the place where to configure different setting related things for our app that will be checked at the runtime. So how many screens do we have? How many activities do we have? What kind of permission our app needed to have so that it will pop up at the installation time. So this app requires this permission. Your app will be like, do you allow your app to access your storage, or those stuff will be configured on here. So you can to do so, you can just use permission, so that here you can see a lot of permissions are available here. So you can use any of these permissions so that you can get your app to do to configure with those activities. So maybe if you are trying to access storage, or if you're trying to access Bluetooth or camera or different stuff, or also like internet related things, so you have put those stuff in here. So once we are ready with our Android app development, maybe tomorrow, so we will start configuring this stuff based on our app, what we are going to develop. So these are by default, this is our launcher activity here. So we'll get into this, what means by default intent filter, or what means action category. So this is our main activity that we are now created here. So this main activity is now here categorized and as a launcher. So if you have another activity that we created, you may have multiple screen, right? So for now, our screen is only main activity. So that's the one we set it as a launcher here. We'll get into that in our upcoming session, don't worry about it. So just to let you know, this is the place where to configure different permission stuff, and also different status of our Android app that will be read on the runtime. So once we are done with this here, we have 3 folder inside the Java. This is the first one that you get into in our app development. So this one contains all our activity related things, fragment, service, different stuff we will configure on this project, on this package. And the rest 2 are for the testing purpose. So we'll not get into that in our workshop. So, but if you want to develop professional, like if you want to be a professional Android developer, you have to get familiar with this testing package, so that you can test your app before deploying, before sharing to your friends, or before deploying to Play Store or something stuff. So you can use different testing methods. By default, it's come up with the JUnit test. You can use different testing algorithms, so you can implement that one. This one is for, I think, for the Java testing, Java code testing. This one is for the user interface testing, which we mean layout testing. So both 2 are come up with by default in our Android app. The last one, it's not the last actually here, the resource folder. So inside this resource folder, we may have about 4 folders. This one is the one we put image related thing. The image may be defined by XML, so it's not meant to have just PNG or JPG image. So you may have a XML image that you defined here. So different kind of image, you put it on this, so to access in your Android app. The user interface part here, you defined the layout related things on here, so that you can use here you can use drag and drop palette here. So you can just try to drag and drop different user interfaces, static user interfaces. Also, you can split this screen into 2, so that you can see your layout, what it looks like. Instead of like to check your layout, you may not need to run your app. So you can just see what kind of layout it come up with. And you can also split only for the code. Here you can see 3 tabs here. So to split, to see only your code part, you can just click on the code. Also, you can split it into 2, so that you can get access with only both coding part and the design. And if you only want to see the design part, you can just check this one, and you can see this palette here. So you can easily access what kind of user interface you want to develop. Okay, these are the place where to implement this user interface part. Once we are done with the layout, we have here the map folder. So what makes different with the drawable is here we have like the same name, like this one is this one we have the same name, right? This one PNG IC launcher PNG, all with the same name but with different size. So for such kind of purpose, if you want to have a same name with different size, so you can put it on this map folder. So the Android by default it will pick up which size of image to be fit with the Android app you have now. So my app may be small or someone's app may be bigger, so it will choose the one fit with that screen size. So those related things will be put on here, this map folder. The next one in the values folder, we can have about 4 XML. Also, we can have also another one, but here the first one is the color. So you may want different color. You can specify this on this folder, on this file, colors.xml. So you can define your different color using different hexadecimal value here, and you name it with what I want. This is the name that you will access this color. So later on in your Android app, so if you want to have access different color that you define here, use this name. So you define by using any name here, and you will access this color, this hexadecimal valued color, by using this name. So every of these resource, these values file were started with the resource tag. So you put your all data part in this resource tag. So starting from here, color, you can define the resource tag using color. For the color part, you use color. For the string part, you use string. And also this is the to store different string. Like you may not need to hard code the string value in the Java code. Instead, you define your string, constant string text on here. Then you can access it by using this name. So here we define the string name with our app name here, my application, and you can see here in our manifest file, here we accessed that name by using at string, then app name. So this is the place where we found the string name at string, which is this file. Then inside this file, we may have multiple strings. So the way to identify only for this value is using the name. So we did, this is the app name. So we access that one with the app name. Also, if you want to access color for your app, also you can use add color and you identify which color you defined on your color. Here you define color primary or any name you can name it here. But the thing matter is the hexadecimal value you set it for your color. So these are the color. Also, it will show you the visual color here. And the next one is the style. Here you can define different style, what kind of style your app should come up with. So the style may be the combination of different color. So here, this is the style tag. So inside the style tag, we have many items we named here. And the name for this style is app theme. So you access this whole style by using this name. Here also we can see for our app, we use a theme here, right? The theme here we use as a style, and we specified by which style we are going to implement by using this. Don't worry about this. Just this is the template. This is the default one come up with Android Studio. So I just want to get familiar with this Android Studio so that it will be easy for us to get started with this starting from tomorrow. Okay, so these are the different values that we will use in our Android app development. Okay, the next one is here, the Gradle related things. This is the main thing that if you are, first one is the build Gradle. This one is a project related Gradle, right? This one is project here. You can see project, this one module, and there is another setting. So this one is just to specify what Gradle version you are using. So just I'm using here 4.01. And so you can specify the Gradle version itself. So this one is the Gradle setting. So, but the first one is just to let the Android app, the building configuration file, which version we are using. Also, we can specify our repository if we have any other repository here. But for now, we will not get into setting to change any of these settings, just to let you know. This is the place where to define our module. So we may have this one, we may have multiple. This one is only one per our per project, so only one per project. But this one we will have maybe more than one. This one is to configure the module, the module what we are targeting for. Here we specify the minimum SDK we are targeting for, and also the targeted SDK also. This one is the minimum. So until this SDK version, our app can run, and also different SDK version, and also our version of app we can specify on here, and also here different implementation. If you are using someone is implemented library from internet, so you can copy your implementation tag here, and you can synchronize that one, and you can get started with different API. So this is the place where we implement different libraries here. So this is just we will continue with the default one. If you change this one, you can change it. Also, you can name your application ID here. This one is the purpose for if you want to publish your app on Play Store or something. So these are the settings for our module. So we can have different. This one is another one we are configuring. For now, we are only one module, right? I'm not developing this app for TV or for other devices. I'm developing this app for only Android. So we include, if you have another app you are targeting for, you can specify it here. So what kind of module you can include, whatever you want here. If you are targeting for other devices like TV or something else. So if you have another module here, like this one, you can set it on here. So this is the three main Gradle files that we are using in our Android app workshop. The rest are not necessary to know, but you can just review them by yourself. Okay, so once we are done with this Android app workflow, you can, if you want to run your app, you just click on this icon, and it will instantiate the emulator that I have. If you guys don't have this emulator before, you can go into AVD Manager, Android Virtual Device Manager. This is the app that we have. It runs by default. The app, I didn't change anything, so it's Hello World app here. It's run, but here you can create your own new virtual devices here. So this one is the one I have before, so I can start it by running this, or it's already started, so I don't need that one. This is the size on this. Here you can create new virtual devices. So here you can select any of the devices that you want with specified screen size. I can select any one of them. Here you can see what kind of dimension do it have, how many pixels of width and height. And so once you select one of the screens, you click on next, and here is what we call the core name for different Android versions. So now the R is available here. So API level of 13. So application program interface that this Android app targeted for the API level of 30. It's Android. It only run on Android version of 10 and plus. So you can select any one of these, and you need to download a system image for this. So if I downloaded for this Android version, which is targeting for Android 9, so you can also select any one of these, and you continue with the download process, and it will finish for you. Once you are done with this, so you can run your virtual device will come on this place, so you can just click on this and start your emulator. Then you can run your app on that emulator. So there are also other ways to debug your app if you are getting on the testing purpose, or if you get any error on your app, you can use this icon here to debug. So I don't think we will not get into this in our workshop too. I think it's enough for today. If you are familiar with the Android Studio and this whole project structure, we will get into the coding part starting from tomorrow. Also, we will have a daily challenge based on that day's discussion, so that you guys can practice those things. And we will post our requirements, what we need, that expected from you guys to have certified on this workshop. Okay, thank you. Thanks so much. So if you have any question, also you can ask on the group or in the discussion box. Thank you.